Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to quite an unusual video. You might have seen recently I went to a WWE house show and I've not been to like a main roster house show for a long time, and I've got quite a lot of observations that I wanted to just go through. Some really interesting bits which I wasn't really expecting. But we'll get to all of that. But yeah, I just thought that it would be really cool to sit down and kind of do a bit of a review of it. If you've not seen clips from it, then I'll put a link in the description below. I had a great time, and hopefully that comes across in the video. Certainly quite a few fun bits in there. Because as I say, it was fun. And I think the score I'm going to give this, let's get the score out of the way, right? If I was going to score it on fun, 10 out of 10. Right? 10 out of 10. If you're going to go and watch WWE at a house show and maybe you've not seen them before, or you want to go and have a few drinks, or you're young and you want to go with some friends, you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a great time. But I was looking for something which it didn't provide, and for me, I'm going to score it a 7. It was still fun, 10 out of 10 for fun, but there was something that was missing, and we're going to go through it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Everyone was there. This thing for me was too long, right? That's my first criticism. It was over 3 hours long, and normally, like, if you're watching Raw, and Raw's like 3 hours long, you can get up, have a drink, I'm not keen on this match, check out, have something to eat, or whatever you want to do. But when you're sat there in the middle of a row and it's like you have to just sit there and watch it, then the 3 hours starts to feel long, starts to feel like a chore. It's like there was parts of this that I didn't enjoy. And actually, I got up and completely missed one whole match because it's like, I'm just going to go to the toilet. Got up, I should have a drink, and I just wasn't in a rush to get back. If the show was hour and a half, 2 hours, like a gig, like when you go and see a band, then I wouldn't want to miss a match. I'd want to, savor it a little bit more, and maybe I'd get into it a little bit more. 3 hours, my God. So, we saw everyone except Kalisto and Shane McMahon, I think it was. Literally, I can't think of anyone else. Maybe Eva Marie, but I don't know what's happening with her at the moment, but I was glad not to see Eva Marie. But yeah, it was, literally everyone was there. So, that was a real positive. You got to cheer and see whoever your favourite is from SmackDown. Merch stall had a mixture of SmackDown and Raw. There was like a lot of Roman Reigns kind of t-shirts that were there. For me, I knew there wasn't going to be any surprises. You're not going to have The Rock just come walking out, which you never know with Raw. With Raw, who knows? He could rock up at any point, but not a house show. Same with, like, you're not going to have The Undertaker just come walking out. And so, kind of, it felt like there was that element missing. But not only that, they said 4 titles on the line, right? And straight away I thought, none of them are changing hands. None of them are changing hands. Every single night at a house show, I bet they say there's 4 titles on the line. And I don't know, maybe I was in the wrong frame of mind, but as soon as they said that, I was like, I'd rather they weren't, to tell the truth. Because if the titles weren't on the line, then I wouldn't know who was going to win. If it was The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler and the Intercontinental title wasn't on the line, I don't know who's going to win that match. And so I would be more into the match. But because the Intercontinental title was on the line, right, well, that's Dolph Ziggler, innit? Should I go and get a drink? What I thought they did absolutely brilliantly, though, was all in the build-up to this, they said Daniel Bryan's going to be there. Daniel Bryan will be there, yeah? And it's like, wow, I get to see Daniel Bryan. I have seen him before. I've seen him wrestle as well. I'm fortunate enough to see him wrestle. But, yeah, that'll be amazing. And the show starts with him on the screen. And so I thought, is that what they mean? when they say Daniel Bryan's going to be there, just this video of him. And so it was like, this is rubbish. This is like, I was quite down about it at the start. But what they do later in the show, perfect. Anyway, let's get to the matches. So first match, Heath Slater and Rhino against the Usos and Breezango. Titles on the line, so I knew that Heath Slater and Rhino would win. I'm really into the Usos kind of music. I thought Breezango were really funny, really fun. I'd say they were the most fun. The crowd were really into Rhino, really wanted Rhino in the match. Rhino gets the hot tag. There is a gore, and Slater and Rhino retain, which was no, big surprise. Apollo Crews against Kurt Hawkins, and some nice moments from Apollo. That first match was really so-so. There was nothing in it. And in fact, all throughout this, there was very little high risk, which is what you would imagine. And that's one of the reasons that I score it down. There was nothing that made me go, wow, I am so glad I've come to see this live. They just very much went through the motions, very standard affair. Nothing really that special. After that, we got Baron Corbin against Jack Swagger. I did one. I went to the toilet for this, to kind of have Apollo Crews against Kurt Hawkins and then follow that with Baron Corbin against Jack Swagger. It's like, this is what I'm saying about it being 3 hours long. I could have done without some of these matches, and this is definitely a match I could have done without. I can't even tell you who won because I have no idea. It could have been the greatest match of all time. I know it wasn't, but it could have been. But yeah, I didn't stick around. Next we got Carmella and Natalya against Nikki and Naomi, and again there wasn't really much to kind of write home about with this. I don't want to come across like I'm down on it because I know a lot of people really enjoyed it. On Twitter it was so good, it was excellent, I had a great time. So did I. I really enjoyed it. You get to see the people come out and cheer the entrances, but the matches themselves were very flat, and there really wasn't much to kind of get invested in. I didn't get up on my feet like cheering. There was no "this is awesome" chants. There was, I don't know, there really was some elements missing. But it was a house show, and what was I expecting? I completely understand this is my fault for having expectations of something which they obviously weren't going to deliver. So yeah, hot tag to Nikki. The crowd really into Nikki. I loved Carmella myself. I thought Carmella really interacted well with the crowd when she was on the outside, like waiting to get tagged in. She was berating like the people that was out in the crowd. She's really confident. She's really good. So yeah, it was faces won, Nikki and Naomi, and as I say, it was a so-so match. The Wyatts with Randy Orton were up next against American Alpha and Kane. Kane got the hot tag, took out literally all of the Wyatts on his own. Like, he looked like this unstoppable monster. I remember some kind of double clothesline taking down, I think it was Wyatt and Luke Harper. Luke Harper all throughout this match, like, not annoying. It was funny and it was fun, but literally doing this like every 2 minutes, he'd knock him down and then he'd go, yeah, show off the guns. And I don't know, it didn't fit with the character. It was fun. It was a spot. I seem to remember another moment where there was Luke Harper was posing. And then I think Jason Jordan behind him was kind of posing as well. And they were tapping on each other's shoulders, trying to get each other's attention. Like, are we going to wrestle now? And we're like, give me a second. Yeah, going back to this. It's stuff you just would not see happen on Raw. It was, I want to use the word silly. It was fun. It was fun. I really, it's hard for me because I don't want to come across like this grumpy, moody sod, yeah? And I'm not trying to do that, but I just thought there were things that I was watching that I was like, that just doesn't feel natural. That doesn't feel like what I would see on Raw. There was no storyline advancement. Of course there wasn't, but I don't know, this is hard. I thought Orton was excellent. Orton, though, played his role perfectly. The crowd were constantly cheering him, even though he's heelish now, part of the Wyatts. Was like, you know, coming into the ring, setting up for the RKO, and then tagging in Luke Harper and leaving. He does hit an RKO, the crowd go mental for that moment. But yeah, look, I mean, the faces win. I don't think that's right. You know, why should American Alpha with Kane be beating the Wyatts and Randy Orton? But they did, and we went to a break. After the break, we got Hype Bros, who I'm just not a fan of, against the Ascension, who I don't mind, and actually their music, I was really into it. Hype Bros won after, again, another so-so match. Vaudevillains come out. Love the Vaudevillains. I love their gimmick. I was a fan of them down in NXT. They came out and they were like, look, if you've still got some energy, how about we have a match? You know, how about you face some real men? And it was a squash. Like, literally a minute later, the match was over. Hype Bros win. For me, though, that was the end of the undercard. And then we started getting to, like, the serious part of the show. The frustrating thing here was that these next 3 matches all had titles on the line, which meant I knew who was going to win. So it just took all the mystery away. It was a real shame. So the first match we got was Dolph Ziggler against The Miz, Intercontinental Championship match. This was a street fight. Very few weapons used. They used the kendo. The match ends with Maurice, who was involved a lot all throughout this match, was holding Dolph Ziggler against the table. Miz goes charging towards him, and Miz goes through the table. I can't remember if it was a zigzag or what it was that finished it, but 1, 2, 3, Ziggler wins. And yeah, you know, it was good. There was some nice moments in it, but the best match of the night, Becky Lynch against Alexa Bliss. By this point, my phone was like 5% battery. It was done. So I had to choose whether to film Becky Lynch against Alexa or the main event, and I went for the main event, or what I could get of the main event before my phone just completely died on me. So there was a match which isn't in that video, which was Becky Lynch against Alexa Bliss, and best match. Some really great moments in this, some lovely reversals, good pace to it. Alexa Bliss is just on a different level. You know, her heel work, you know, just talking trash to the ref, and like, there was a good intensity to the match. That was, you know, there was very few, I can't recall any actually, kind of like comedy moments. This felt like a serious competition, and it was better for it. Becky Lynch wins with the disarmer, and you know, Alexa actually got out of the disarmer a couple of times, but Becky wins with the disarmer, and you know, the crowd loving Becky Lynch, and it was a good moment. But then the main event, they got this bang on, right? Sadly, my phone dies after the entrances, and I needed to go and get my train. Like, this thing had gone on so long that I had to go halfway through, so I didn't see the end of the show, but I know what happens. So how it starts, Ambrose comes out, AJ Styles comes out. It's for the WWE Championship, so you know that Dean's not going to get a pin or a submission win. And then James Ellsworth gets announced as the guest timekeeper. AJ Styles goes on the mic and goes, I'm not having him ringside, you know, sorry, this isn't happening, goes to leave. Daniel Bryan comes out. This is a massive, amazing moment. And do you know what? They swerved me. When Daniel Bryan was on the screen at the start, I thought, that's lame. You know, they're going to advertise him, and that's what they're going to do, just put him on a screen. But no, he came out for the main event, and it was absolutely wicked. So he comes out, gets into the ring in like his shirt and everything. Like, obviously he's not wrestling. And says, look, well, that's absolutely fine, AJ. If you want to go, you go. But I'm going to strip you of the title if you do. AJ says, look, I'll fight, but I'm not going to have Ellsworth ringside. Obviously, Bryan to the crowd, do you want Ellsworth to stay? And everyone's like, yeah. So Ellsworth ends up staying. And then that's it. The match starts. You know, Bryan's done. He goes out back again. And then I had to say, you know, leave. This seemed quite competitive. As a match overall, I've no idea if it bettered Becky Lynch against Alexa Bliss, but I felt that was the better match. Yeah, I'm told that it was a cheap kind of roll-up win for AJ Styles, but the whole thing finishes with no chin music from James Ellsworth and the dirty deeds as well. AJ Styles goes away, still champion, but it finishes with Dean Ambrose and James Ellsworth celebrating in the ring. Overall, and again, I know I've come across as a bit moody during it. I don't mean to be. Like, it was a lot of fun, and I would urge, if you get a chance, go to a house show, but don't go expecting Raw or SmackDown or anything like that, because it's silly, slapstick. It's just the results. You know what's going to happen. It's long as well. It's really long. 3 hours. It's really long. But it is good fun. It is good fun. So if you get a chance to go, do it. But just know what you are going to see. Awesome, guys. If you kind of like this review, I really would appreciate it if you'd give the video a like. I've got a lot of toy hunts coming up on the channel soon, because this was in Birmingham, my home city, where I'm from, or the city closest to where I'm from. And so yeah, I grew up in Birmingham, so I know Birmingham like the back of my hand. So we do one epic toy hunt. Like, it's a 2-parter toy hunt, which will be uploaded over the next couple of days. So really looking forward to that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, so you don't miss out on that. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.